Tonight, a special Monster Affair exclusive. You've heard of the quote-unquote children's classic, Where the Wild Things Are by Maurice Sendak? Tonight, Monster Affair interviews a family that was actually there. To my right, Miss Penelope Monster.
Hello.
And her husband, Thurston Monster. Hello. All right, let's begin. All right, Miss Penelope Monster, will you tell us about the events portrayed in the book?
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you, Gossamer, for letting me on the show.
Oh, absolutely.
We watch every night, me and Thurston. But I just wanted to come on your show and talk about this horrible, horrible book called Where the Wild Things Are by a certain Maurice Sendak. Let me just say, I was there the night that Max invaded our island, and I have not forgiven him since. And if I were to see him, I don't even know what I would do with him.
I'd eat him.
Thurston, please.
Sorry.
So, let me just say, I'm sure a lot of you out there are watching this, and you are familiar with the book, and let me just say, now that we have the internet here on our island, I am going to tell everybody about how horribly portrayed the monsters and the wild things are in this book. So if you have the book, read along with me. So the night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind, let me just say, that boy is a terror. He chases his dog around with a fork and ruins his mother's house, and he is the most disrespectful little child I have ever heard of, where he tells his mother that he will eat him. Now, Thurston can say that, but to say that to your own mother, I haven't heard of such a thing in my life. So she sends him to bed without eating anything, and let me just say, I think that is a wonderful punishment.
Without eating?
Thurston!
Sorry.
So, the night in question, when Max was brought to our island, a forest grew in his room, which I don't understand that. I mean, he was in a house.
Impossible.
It grew and grew and grew until his ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world all around. An ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max. It was just waiting for him.
Private boat, my foot.
And he sailed off through night and day, and in and out of weeks, and almost over a year, to where the wild things are.
Funny enough, it only takes me 15 minutes to get to the land to go to the store.
I don't appreciate being called a thing. Do you, Thurston?
Well, no.
And this is where it gets a little dicey. When he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared with their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. What is all this about terrible?
I'll show him terrible. And you know, the teeth thing, that's not really our fault. Monsters don't really know a lot about dentistry. I hate to cut you off, Penelope, but we need to take a quick commercial break and hear from our sponsors. Do you like movies? How about movies about monsters? Here's a great movie for you, about two guys just trying to do their job when crazy kids get in the way. Watch Monsters, Inc. Thanks. Just a reminder, Monster Affair is filmed before an undead studio audience. And we're back! Now, Penelope, if you wouldn't mind, continuing where you left off.
Well, this is where it just gets absolutely out of control, because this Maurice Sendak thinks that he can just make up lies, vicious lies about Max putting a magic trick on us, of staring into our yellow eyes without blinking once, and we were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all.
Really, it was the whole white eye thing that kind of freaked us out. That's why we were staring.
And then it says, we made him king of all wild things. Now I'm going to let Thurston take this one.
We were kidding. The kid wouldn't shut up. We said, okay, we'll make you king, just to try to shut him up. We got a little paper crown from Burger King, put it on his head.
And then he said, let the wild rumpus start.
Now, if you want to call calisthenics a rumpus, I guess you could. But we were just exercising.
So we exercised, we did our normal routine of swinging from trees and dancing in the moonlight, and for some reason he climbed up on Harry's back. I don't even know what that was all about.
Yeah, Harry wasn't too happy about that.
But then the little child with his little Burger King hat said, go to bed without supper. Now, I'm sorry, but I am a full-figured woman. I need my dinner every night, and the boy just said go to bed without eating dinner. I don't even know what to say. So we all went to sleep, and apparently he got lonely and missed his mother that he had treated so horribly, and then he started smelling dinner. Now, I don't know how that is possible.
He smelled like dinner.
Thurston, I have told you again and again, you cannot eat the children.
If you would have let me eat this child, none of this would have happened.
So then, he decided to leave. And Maurice Sendak said, we cried. Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so.
Yeah, tears of joy. It's all about how you say it. The book says, oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so. Yeah, we said, oh, please don't go, Max. Oh, no, we love you so. We'll eat you up.
But then Max, decided to leave, which was fine by us. But then again, Maurice decides to paint us in a bad light, giving us terrible roars and terrible teeth and terrible eyes and terrible claws. And Max stepped into his private boat again and waved goodbye. And it took him a year to get home again. And his mother, God bless her soul, had left his supper waiting for him, and it was still hot. Now, I don't know if you've ever made a casserole, but it's a real bear to keep hot.
Well, interesting take on this story.
I'm just trying to get the truth out there. I think this Sendak is just a complete cashed in. This Maurice Sendak is a complete phony. He's cashed in on our way of life for too many years, and I have had it. I've had it.
Well, if you agree with our guest tonight, please write your monster congressman and get them to enact a new law. We call it Max's Law. This just in. Monster Affair has an exclusive with Max himself.
What? I wasn't told this was going to happen. I'm just going to leave.
Well, all right, but yes, let's hear it straight from Max's mouth. Max, what do you have to say about these allegations of forgery and tomfoolery and things of that nature? I see. Well, this isn't interesting television.
Okay, Max, while I've got you here after all these years, do you have anything to say for yourself? Obviously not. You haven't respected our host Gossamer, but I just have one question. Did you tell Maurice Sendak this story?
No. No, I didn't.
Well then, Maurice Sendak, I want his head on a platter.
That sounds delicious. Well, I guess that just about does it for this week's episode of Monster Affair. For Penelope, Thurston, and Max, I am Gossamer. Good night. Thank you once again to our Undead Studio audience. Watch Monsters, Inc.